One.
Okay, let's open up the April 2025 Templeton Community Preservation Committee. We will start the agenda with the minutes from March 13th. As always, Jessica has provided a nice, succinct and thorough set of minutes that I have reviewed and found to be acceptable.
I even attached them to your reminder email, if you recall, Mr. Henshaw.
I printed it out. Second it.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to accept the minutes. Any discussion on that? Any omissions, errors, whatever? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much. Check. Admin update would be the next item.
The annual town meeting is Wednesday, May 14th. The town election is Monday, May 19th. There is one CPC opening. And Development Services is planning an Earth Day event on April 22nd to do a cleanup day at the Crotty Ave Dam, AKA the Otter River Pool.
And what time is that?
TBD.
Be there all day.
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
The next item, so because we always, whenever I start going through the finances, we always talk about the projects anyway, so we're just kind of lumping them together. You will see, you have three sheets. One is the current accounts, including the buckets, one of the closed projects, and then the updated data report of those which are active.
I don't typically provide you guys, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair. I typically don't provide you a closed project sheet, but Mr. Henshaw is going to talk about the Baldwinville Elementary School project and the other ones that you guys had recently motioned to revert funds back. So I just wanted to show you where those all went.
Yeah, so let's just look at that closed project one first.
Sure.
And you'll see that there was the Baldwinville School project is finally closed. And so the town had to transfer the funds that had been committed by the CPA funding from the town to a state-run online account that is the repository of this grant/loan and others to fund the $40 million project. So that all had to happen for April Fool's Day. It did. They closed on it. We heard back from MPZ. They're very appreciative and thanked everybody on the board and Jessica for supporting the project because they expect to start soon.
Yes.
I was up there. I drove by there today. They're still doing some road work. And that's all related to, probably to that block grant thing.
That's the Maple Street Neighborhood Reconstruction Project. Yes. And they are working in conjunction with the developers.
So that was a big chunk of change wired over to them. So these accounts are now zero.
Yes.
The monies that had been expended included the building permit and then the associated work that was paid to the contractor doing the
Infrastructure.
the infrastructure stuff. So that was that's something that we need to be aware of is when we have big ticket items like these, if all of a sudden there's going to be a need to expend them, we just need to give the treasurer plenty of time so that she can make sure the funds are liquid, which she certainly did, and we appreciate her doing that. But and so, for example, the only other big project we have outstanding right now is the church. So we'll talk about that here briefly, but hopefully that once that starts rolling, we'll have an idea of what the schedule of required payments will be on that. So the cupola project is done, zeroed out as we voted last month. The signs are up and etc. And Baptist Common project is done. And if everybody that has seen the fencing I think it looks pretty good down there.
That's great.
So those are closed, so that's good. And then these other ones, they're the same information, except this one has the buckets included. So we'll look at the other one that doesn't have color. And you'll see that the balances, the expenditures of the accounts, how much money is left. And that end balance being negative is positive.
Mhm.
But why does it show a positive in the admin account?
I don't know.
Okay, we still have money in that. I mean, they
Yes.
commit the funds, that's where we pay for Jessica's time as
Yep.
well as other things as
Yep.
well. So. It's probably an accounting thing. Don't worry, we're still gonna pay you.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, so the next item on the projects list is the conservation account. We've gone back and forth on that. We've had some discussion with MRPC about options that the town have to do the open space plan going forward. And that there's like 3 different options. They will do some work, apply for some grants. Do you all have any summary that you'd like to share
I
on
mean,
that?
we learned that an open space plan is around 40,000. That's what we learned.
Yeah.
And so they were providing us options, but at the end of the day, it's options up to that amount we got to get to somehow.
And one of those options could be to ask the selectmen to request a funding through their regional planning authority
Mm.
to pay for that. We haven't approached that as yet. They could also write a couple of other different grants. We may want to touch base with Grace Lynn. I think we sent her some of the info on it.
Mhm.
They could also we could vote to pay them, $8,000 to do $8,000 worth of moving it forward. I did send her the outstanding punch list of items from the last report that were, we didn't get done. We were conditionally approved for 7 years. And now we got to go back to the well and get it approved if we want to be eligible for some of these grants, like the land grant program and stuff from the state. So, I'm not ready to figure out what to do on that yet, and I don't know if conservation has spoken about it as well.
Not yet.
So that's where we are, and that's where we'll probably be again next month. But if something, maybe I'll reach out and speak to Jessica and we'll try to figure something out in the interim to move it a little closer for next month. At least understanding, maybe even reaching out to the select board, that with town meeting coming and elections and all this and all that, so much going on. I don't know how high on the priority list this will be. Okay. And if you want to hear more or talk more, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll keep moving. So the next project is listed as the Boynton Library. Now, fortunately, they have they've gone forward, and the town had $70,000 in CPA funds appropriated, and they have a request account to do the renovation work at the library. They've engaged with SSV or CCV architects who are putting together the bid documentation so that it can go out to bid with the hope that they will do this renovation work around Thanksgiving. So that's still on track. There's a meeting of the library trustees next week to get an update on that, but we will see an invoice from them when work is done. That is $18,500 to put together the bid documentation and work with contractors, and that includes. So it's not going to be all spent at once. It includes monitoring the project, et cetera, et cetera. So that'll be like a landmark invoicing. Stonebridge articles are going to be on the town meeting floor to, we are bringing that to the town meeting just to see about closing that out and to making sure that the town stays involved in the process. Drape restoration, Brian had been not well, and so he hadn't got it to the finish line yet, but he's going to be working on doing that soon. The Gilman Way tennis courts. We're just waiting on the sign, I guess, and
I gave you a different writing on that last sign. I tried again. I've given up.
yeah, so
Is it better? Is it close to what you guys said? I try to listen to the meeting. I don't know.
I mean, to me, this is fine. I wouldn't
Yeah.
capitalize was,
Or buy.
Capitalize what?
like was and by.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And so this would be, are we talking about a bronze plaque for this or?
Yep, bronze plaque, like the one outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything? Do you want anything like businessman or anything, or is this good?
We can. What do you guys think?
Fine, with the corrections that be.
Yeah, it's nice to have that, and that'll be posted. Will that be posted near the big sign or wherever?
Yeah, it'll be right on the building. Concession stand.
Oh, on the concession stand. And then the sign that acknowledges the CPA funding, et cetera, et
It
cetera.
will go, yeah, it will go below it. It'll be like this, right? You have this big gap on the wall. And if we ever get another one, they can either go on where the object is, like the ball field, or it can go on the backside, because we have another big wall on the backside.
Yeah, and there is another article for town meeting for Gilman Waite, so, you know, and maybe at some point we would want to ask, maybe even the high school would get a team together in their history department and do a project to come up with a little, you know, attribution or something, to give a little historical significance to Mr. Gilman Waite and his family, et cetera. Maybe not.
TCTV did like a mini little thing on him.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, was it like in the fall? It's in the fall. Yeah. They did something about how the park, it was more about the park and how it was named after him. Yeah. It's probably on YouTube in their repertoire of programs.
Well, we'll have to put a clickable link on this sign here, send it back. Okay, so I know we've been back and forth on this. I'm happy to close it off and move forward if everybody else. Yeah,
Okay, all
Or
right.
I don't think so. I mean, if that's, you want to vote, all,
She was just looking for feedback.
You can vote for it if you want. That's fine.
I mean, basically, it's, you know, the project is through Parks and Rec.
Yeah, the
Why don't we
sign
just
truck.
give our consensus approval? All those in favor of moving forward with a sign and putting this Gilman Waite acknowledgement with it, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, very good. Thank you, Candace.
Thank you.
Okay, so Dwelly Farm, I see we got a new invoice and
Yeah, they, last week, the first treatment, contract was signed with a new invasive, plant, person, and they did the first of 2 treatments, last week. Emily was really happy with the results. They walked that, and, she signed a contract on, replacing the sign. So she's
Great.
with a new sign.
and was it a single post sign or a? It's
I do not know.
I believe it was a single post.
that's what we had talked about,
Yep.
and getting it away from the. Moving it back, perhaps. Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, then there is the Houghton Park project, which I'm sure is about to have a bunch of stuff happen now that spring is allegedly coming.
Yep, we're just waiting for the contractors to move in and put in the playground equipment.
Awesome.
That'll be great.
Yep.
Okay, and
Exciting.
then, so I'm just gonna keep rolling. Let's just, the Grange Hall lift, that's also something that Brian's gonna move forward. They need to do the final inspection. They have to coordinate with the state and.
Yep.
You know, so it's just a small balance on those 2 accounts, but you know, we're gonna keep them there until it's done. As I mentioned, the first church, I mean, first time I saw that lull up there, I'm like, oh my God, they're not starting already, are they? And they were fixing a weather vane or something. I believe.
Yeah, the weather vane folded in the wind. I've never seen anything like that before.
really?
Yeah.
Well,
So they, and then, you know, we'll hear more from them as they actually get to the point where they're gonna start the work on the project.
I'll know when they want to do that, when they pull a building permit.
Yeah, so they know they need to get a building
They
permit.
know, yep.
Emergency management, building, we did get a copy of the, report.
Mhm.
And so that was, and then that final $800.
Is that, do you know what that remaining $800 is for? Is it necessary?
No,
We can reach out to
we
Lewis.
have to
because-
know whether the contract is complete or not.
Okay,
I think it is. They did the study, they did the report. That's what they were asked to
do you
do.
have contact with them? Could we reach out to them?
It was through Adam.
and-
That's that same guy, Lewis, we're working with at the library, so I
Yes,
can reach
same
out.
company.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. All right, well, let's do that.
then, yeah.
See where we are with that.
Then we have to move on to the next steps.
Yeah, they'll come up with a couple $1,000,000, right? Okay, so then, here's just some expenditures, from the admin account, including the Vadar access stuff.
That's just a rolling record.
Yeah. So, that's where we are now. We're getting some knocked off the list, which is great. We may or may not get some more this year, May 14th, at the annual town meeting. Any questions or comments on the current project or finances? Okay, so the annual town meeting, as you recall, and there's listed in the minutes, is that we did approve articles to go forward. Which includes the
Funding.
funding for the general funding annually that we do, the closure of the Stonebridge project accounts, the Gilman Way softball fields, and the Houghton Park ball field project.
Mhm.
And that one will be continued upon getting another successful park grant. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Graceland is pulling that together, or it is on her radar.
Yeah.
And of course, the high school project was rescinded.
Mhm.
Any questions or comments on the annual town meeting? Potential projects, is there anything that people would like to bring up or have questions or comments about for potential projects?
As I said a moment ago, we would be going on to the next stage of the work at the 1 Elm Street Emergency Management Building. Now that we have the engineering study and work to be done, we can now go out for bid to get an idea of what it would cost. Excuse me. There was still a lot of talk at the selectman level about the future of the building, so Rich and I have been waiting for that to either come to a decision or quiet down before we went forward in any direction. They've been talking about moving it to another location. There have been talk about closing the building. There have been talk, and it all has to do with finances right now. So I believe maybe Jessica, who get some idea of, has that.
I have not heard anything, but if I do, I'd let you know.
It's part of the budget. They haven't had their budget final meeting, so we don't
Well,
know.
last night at the select board meeting, they didn't approve the warrant or the budget, so they moved it to the April
23rd.
23rd
They
meeting.
have double meeting, one at 5:30 and one at 6:30.
So I think we have to wait and see how everything quiets
Yeah.
down, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, because even putting together a bid package, isn't free.
Right.
And what other reports or, help we might even find on that, we'll have to discuss. Okay, thank you. Any other potential projects or anything that is on anybody's radar?
Just on. Mike was talking about, are they considering an alternate site for that building, or
There had been talk about an alternate site. But
what would that be?
there was dissension on the select board about doing so. Adam was coming forward with plans to close the building and move it elsewhere. Some of the selectmen were not in favor of that. Way above my pay grade to be talking about it, so I'll let them figure out what they're gonna do.
There isn't a building. They would have to probably go back. Where were they? Fire department before? Or, I don't know.
Okay, so, we've got enough projects, on the radar now for the annual town meeting, so I don't really have anything. Unless nobody else has anything on that, we'll move forward. To the next item, which is chair/member comments. Are there any comments, or, issues that anyone would like to raise?
Comments.
Hearing none, I have none. We'll move on to the next item, which appears to be that the next meeting will be May 8th at 7 PM, which will also be located right here at 160 Patriots Road,
What time is it?
7 PM, 7:05 now.
It'll be before town meeting.
Yeah, that'll be one last pre-town meeting.
Chat.
So that completes the items that are posted on the agenda. Therefore, I would now entertain a motion to
It's
Make a
weird.
motion to close the meeting.
Second.
okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, no, sure.
Stay here. Okay,